Black Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Hump Day Wednesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Glad to have you guys on board the show today. It's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg returns coming up in less than 20 minutes from now as it's Eagles Dallas Week Part 2. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. We got a lot to get to here, and I think that, before we get to the Eagles injury report, which it's only Wednesday, so it's more of a cursory look at the state of the team. I did want to get to a little more some of the conversation that we have been having about Jalen Hurts, because I think part of the conversation after the game on Sunday was about who and what Jalen is at this point in time. I'm not going to hold one game against Jalen and use it as a declaration of who and what he is, whether it's this year or the rest of this season or next year or anything. And while I understand that a lot of people are very frustrated after the loss, I still contend that there were a lot of mitigating factors that led to that loss. We had a Super Bowl where Jalen Hurts played the best game of his life, and the Eagles lost the game. Sunday, to me, was more of a failure by the Eagles defense than the offense not doing their job. Because at the end of the day, you had a close game at halftime. It wasn't like that the 49ers were up 30-7 at halftime. You were down 17-7 consecutive weeks this year. It's not like that you could not have come back. But the Eagles defense definitely got shredded in the second half of that game. And I think that for me, did Jalen Hurts have a good game? No. But he also didn't have the worst game ever either. Jalen's worst game this season is still the Jets game. The Jets game is the only game that he's had 3 interceptions in a game. And you can make the argument that 2 of them were not his fault. And it just goes to show you something I've talked about here on Game Night on 97.3, even before Game Night, when I was doing Sports Bash Saturday and the warm-up, and when I've been, working with Mike Gill for all these years. I've talked to you guys about this before. You can't expect the quarterback to constantly save you. We put wins and losses on the quarterback, forgetting that the quarterback doesn't play defense, the quarterback doesn't block, the quarterback doesn't catch the ball. The quarterback is just the catalyst of the offense. Now, being the catalyst of the offense is arguably one of the most important jobs in all of sports, but he's still the driver of the bus. When Mo Cheeks was playing on the 83 Sixers and he was passing the ball to Moses Malone and Julius Erving and Bobby Jones and Andrew Toney, and they didn't make the shots, it's not like anyone said, "Man, Mo Cheeks, why'd you pass it to him? You're an idiot." No, what happened is people said, "Man, you should have made that layup. Man, you should have made that jump shot." Toney, Malone, Irving, Jones, whoever. And so I think that one of the problems I have with this idea that Jalen Hurts has so aggressively regressed, as David Carr has tried to say on NFL Network, and I'll play the audio for you guys in a minute. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with this idea that, Hurts has regressed so much because of this knee injury.
think the only way that they get there is Jalen is 100% and he is that dynamic weapon in the run game, because that creates your offense on the outside and your one-on-ones. Clearly, Jalen isn't comfortable reading through a defense in a drop-back pass scenario. Some would say he's not even good at it. And I think that when you look at this team, you have to have a serious conversation if you're Philly. And you have to really say, is it better for us to play Marcus Mariota right now and let Jalen get fully healthy? Because I would argue that it does not matter if you're the number 1 seed. Because if the 49ers come into Philly again, they do not care.
It's a foolish mentality, in my opinion, by David Carr. And it's an incredible example of how someone who played the game can see the game so wrong. Jalen Hurts having a knee injury does not prevent them from winning a championship. It just means you got to win it in a different way. Look, a lot of people coming into this season did not pick the Eagles to win the championship. The quarterback wasn't the reason why. A lot of people looked at the Eagles and said, look, they took a step back. They lost Javon Hargrave. They lost TJ Edwards. They lost Isaac Seumalo on the offensive line. The offensive line's had continuity for years. They changed coordinators. There were a lot of people who didn't expect the Eagles to be 10-2 right now. I think most people in the audience, if I would have told you that they were 10-2 this year, you would be ecstatic before the year. But instead, we're acting like the 49ers loss is some declaration of the Eagles season. And the problem is people like David Carr want to act like that Jalen Hurts is so injured and so banged up that he's incapable of going out there and helping his team win a game, when he literally ran in a touchdown in overtime the week before in the rain versus Buffalo. And by the way, in that game that the Eagles won 37-34, Jalen Hurts had 3 passing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts in that game had 2 rushing touchdowns. The week before against Kansas City, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So is Jalen Hurts so banged up that he can't run the RPO? Or is the issue something else? Dan Orlovsky, another former NFL quarterback, with a different perspective on NFL Live.
At this point last year, compared to this year, Philadelphia Eagles have 200 yards less running the football before contact than they did at this point last year. It's weird to say, but their offensive line is not dominating, indenting the line of scrimmage like they were.
That's an interesting perspective. And it's something that I'm way more willing to accept and wrap my mind around, because when you look at the Eagles' stats across the board, you realize, as Orlovsky says, that the run game is not there. And I think it's way more than Jalen Hurts. There is certainly a continuity issue on the Eagles' offensive line. And I've told you guys for years, if the line doesn't block and the receivers don't catch, then is it really the quarterback's fault? You guys tell me what you think at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Eagles injury report did come out today, and there's nothing incredibly there's nothing that's incredibly, earth-shattering about the injury report. The injury report is more of kind of, this is interesting. Darius Slay, big play Slay, doesn't practice, rest, what they have listed there for a knee issue. The only guy who literally didn't practice was Julio Jones. He's got what they're calling a groin issue. We'll see how the week progresses. It might just be I don't think that Julio Jones is literally injured. I think he's just banged up. Fletcher, he was limited. Fletcher Cox. Zach Cunningham was limited. Jack Stoll was limited. I'm going to be watching Cunningham very closely the next couple days to see how much he practices, because it was very obvious that without Cunningham on the field, the Eagles had a huge problem in that game. And I don't know how much Zach Cunningham would have affected that game necessarily. Does Zach Cunningham make the 49ers score one less touchdown? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Nicholas Morrow had 151 yards after the catch against him. So maybe that number goes from 151 to maybe 100 instead if Cunningham's on the field. And then you maybe have one less touchdown on the board. You're still losing the game at that point, 35-19. It doesn't make the game any closer. So the Eagles defense still completely and utterly failed on Sunday, whether Cunningham's on the field or not. The other guy who's limited practice was Jack Stahl. It's very interesting because the Eagles listed two tight ends who didn't play on Sunday as full participants at practice, Grant Calcaterra and Dallas Goedert. I'll be curious to see if Goddard makes his debut this week, what kind of role does he have in the offense? Because we know that Dallas Goedert is a guy who has been a valuable part of the run and pass game. So as someone who is a valuable player in the roll and pass game, can he still take on that role on Sunday? How is the arm in that situation? Because remember, he had a fractured bone in his arm. A broken forearm bone is not something to sneeze at. I don't know how that's going to impact his blocking. I don't know how it's going to impact his catching. I don't know how it's going to impact him, breaking off a jam on the line of scrimmage. I don't know. I don't know how his recovery has been, unless he's Wolverine or Deadpool and he has a super healing factor I don't know about. I just have trouble believing that, Dallas Goedert is going to be 100% Dallas Goedert on Sunday in Dallas against the Cowboys. Let's squeeze in a text for the break. Biz from Absecon chimes in at 609-403-0973. Biz says, is the offensive coordinator calling run plays? I sure don't think so. No wonder they have 200 yards less in the run game. Well, here's the thing, Biz. I hate being this ambiguous with the answer, but the reality is that we don't actually know what's going on sometimes, because in the NFL, almost every play has a two sides of a coin. There's an A and the B side of every play. There's a heads and a tails to every play. So when the quarterback walks up to the line, he initially calls one play. He can switch to the B play. So is the A play a pass and the B a run? Is the A a run and the B a pass? Are they calling two run plays at the line and not, two pass plays at the line and not two run plays? I don't think it's as simple as the offensive coordinator calling plays or not. I think that the issue is that I think there are inconsistencies in the play calling. I don't think the play calling has been great at times, but I don't think that, the OC is purposely not calling run plays. And that's I don't think Brian Johnson wakes up in the morning and says, I'm not calling run plays. I just don't see him doing that. Jeff chimes in on the DMs and says 4 weeks to heal for a fractured forearm is unreal. You're right, Jeff. It is unreal. It's absolutely insane that this dude, Dallas Goedert, could be back on a football field and playing after a fractured forearm just 4 weeks ago. I was actually going to be 5 weeks ago when you get to the Dallas game, but still, the timeline is insane. All right, we'll get more into the Eagles coming in next with Dave Weinberg, extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle.
Ian Eagle here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Ryan Leaf and I are set for the Patriots and the Steelers from Pittsburgh this week. Mike Tomlin's squad still in the mix for an AFC playoff spot, but fell to 7-5 last week. Can they get back on the winning track against Ezekiel Elliott and the Patriots? Join us to find out on Thursday Night Football.
Listen to Thursday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7:30.
Save thousands at Matt Blatt Kia. Get out of your old trade today, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Go to mattblattkianj.com for more details. That's mattblattkianj.com.
It's gotta be a
Matt Blatt Kia.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Doug.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Dell's Cyber Monday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's number 59, Seth joining. Birds football, best time of the year. Bet Parks is the official casino and sportsbook app I recommend. Join me and download the Bet Parks app right now. When you open the Bet Parks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moment. The anticipation of another face card, the thrill of an extra spin, and the joy of a jackpot. It's all your favorite games at your fingertips. Get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet. Bet Parks.
Must be 21 in New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland. Gambling problem. 1-800 Gambler.
Hey, it's Joe Conklin from Conklin's Comedy Night at Parks Casino, and I'm psyched to cheer on the Philadelphia 76ers this season with Parks, the official local casino partner of the 76ers. Parks Casino is number 1 with the hottest live tables and slots, great dining and bars, and the best live entertainment in the region. Need a fun and exciting game day destination? Get into Parks to watch your favorite teams in the Liberty Bell Gastropub or the Beer Garden. Visit parkscasino.com. This is how you win. This is how you win. You want to roll for gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-294-8831 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-294-8831. That's 800-294-8831. What do you have to lose? Call 800-294-8831. Again, 800-294-8831.
It's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a winner, fall football, and Chickies and Pete's mouth-watering snow crab legs. For a limited time, buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat dressed in our special blend of seasonings and spices. Pair it with an ice-cold draft beer or one of our signature cocktails. Buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies Beats.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Let's stick with the Eagles talk right now. We'll get back to the text in just a bit at 609-403-0973. But we're joined right now by 97.3 ESPN.com sports columnist and veteran Eagles beat writer Dave Weinberg is back with an edition of Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back in. How you doing on Wednesday?
I'm freezing, Josh. How are you?
Well, bundle up. It's going to get colder tonight. It's supposed to get into the 20s tonight.
Oh, my goodness. I'm not built for this.
Well, maybe next time you should go to Florida in December and not November. How about that?
There's an idea. I'm actually going there next week. So that's for a couple of days. I'm going to see my App State Mountaineers playing a bowl game in Orlando. So
there you go.
Yep. It's nice to get to the warmth for a couple of days anyway.
That's a good excuse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dave, a lot of people are having a lot of consternation over the Eagles after their loss. And I want to ask you to start. How much do you think what we saw on Sunday was a byproduct of circumstances? And how much of it was the Eagles are just not as good as the 49ers?
I'm going to go with B. I just the way that they controlled that game and dominated every aspect of it, that convinced me that the 49ers were the best team. I know people are going to say, well, they had extra days to prepare and this and that and injuries and here and there, but I don't think any of that really mattered last Sunday. I just think the 49ers were a much better team, at least for that day.
The reason I ask in part is because, I think that the defense got shredded on Sunday. And it's like, like, for example, the conversation we were having, Dave, for like an entire week is Jalen Hurts MVP candidate, right? And it's like, well, Jalen Hurts didn't mess up on defense. It's not Jalen's fault that the 49ers scored 42 points on the defense. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
Jalen Hurts had the best game of his life in the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl last year. And they still lost the game. So, like, do we put too much of this on Jalen?
That's kind of the nature of the beast when you're an NFL quarterback, though, Josh. I mean, I think you're going to get the praise if you win and then blame if you lose. He is the reason they only scored 19 points, I guess, right? I mean, I think those first two drives were just crucial. The fact that they settled for field goals there, I think that was like the turning point in the game almost. I don't know that he's the same quarterback that he was last year. I mean, he's still outstanding. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't put this loss on him. But you're right. I mean, it was the defense to blame, by and large. I mean, they gave up touchdowns on 6 straight possessions, and everybody had their way with him. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. I mean, it was just a lousy effort by the defensive side of the ball. But I can also understand why Jalen would get some heat, though.
You mentioned the defense, so are you excited that Shaq Leonard is here? Are you indifferent that he's here? What is your take on the newest linebacker for the Birds?
They definitely needed to add somebody, and I know he's got the pedigree to make an impact. I just don't know, and I'm sure your stations thought the same thing. If he's that good, then why is he here? I mean, why did the Colts get rid of him. I don't get it. If they're still in playoff contention, and I would think they would need every good player that they have to stay. But for whatever reason, he was let go or asked to be released. I don't know what the real reason was, but I'm starting to wonder like if he's still that good.
Well, it's a conundrum because on one hand, you're right. People like yourself and Mike Gill are asking the question, why on earth was this guy let go if they're close to the playoff hunt? On the flip side, we do have multiple reports out there that multiple teams were interested in him and that he narrowed it down to the Eagles and the Cowboys. So it's like it wasn't just the Eagles who were interested. So obviously he's got to have something in the tank. And well, I certainly think something is better than Christian Ellis and Ben Van Sumeren.
Oh, no question. Yeah, they have to take a chance. Yeah, those guys were just terrible last Sunday. But again, I mean, I understand multiple teams were interested, but why was he available? That's for those teams to even think about it. Why wouldn't the Colts just say, he's not on the trading block, he's not getting cut? I don't. That's the question, and it doesn't seem like anybody in Indianapolis kind of knows the answer from what I can see or read. I just it seems like a big mystery, though.
I mean, look, the Colts are run by an idiot, so I mean, who knows what's really going on?
True enough. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, now I'm not saying Irsay cut him. I'm just saying that the organization's made some weird moves. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, this is the same organization that basically alienated their star running back and then a month later signs into a massive extension. So, I mean,
yeah, you never know what's going on. That's true. Yep.
Maybe Irsay woke up one morning and didn't like a tweet that Leonard put out there or something. I don't know. I mean,
yeah. It just seems
I know
the way everything unfolded.
Yeah.
Though.
I know it's not that. I tend to believe that Leonard is going to bring something that the Eagles need.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is even if he's not that all pro level linebacker anymore, Dave, I think that he's going to bring something that we didn't have on Sunday, which is someone who's not an idiot on the football field. Because Pro Football Focus found that Nicholas Morrow had 151 yards after the catch were his fault. So you can't tell me that having Cunningham or Leonard on the field might have at least cut off a touchdown off of that team's, yards. You know what I mean? Like it's at some point, it's like obviously Nicholas Morrow can't play that linebacker role. He can't fill in for Cunningham. So even if Leonard is not the Leonard he used to be, he can't be as bad as the other guys.
Yeah, that's true. But who do you bring in to fix the secondary? Because I thought they were terrible as well, to be polite about it.
Oh, you could be as mean as you want. Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. I mean, look, the other problem was that the Eagles blitzed more on Sunday than any point this season, and they got absolutely shredded to the point where opposing quarterbacks now have a 114.6 passer rating when the Eagles blitzed this season. So, I mean, Dave, is Sean Desai running into a issue here where, he has to recalibrate his defense?
Maybe so. Yeah. I mean, you generally want your front four to get constant pressure. They really didn't do that. I don't know why you would. And if they can, you don't need the blitz as much. For whatever reason, they didn't accomplish that last Sunday. I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting why is Darius Slay playing 25 yards off the ball? I don't get that either. I just don't. Sean Desai he's gotten a lot of credit for this season's success, and it deservedly so. But I think he was outmatched by Kyle Shanahan on Sunday, clearly.
Oh, absolutely. Shanahan definitely out. Well, Shanahan did something very interesting, Dave, which is he kind of let the game come to him. He kind of played the awesome. He was like, okay, let me see what you guys are doing, and then I'm going to make my big adjustment and see if you guys adjust. And it's funny you mentioned about the corners and the defensive backs being 10 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, because it was the same thing because I was watching Jason Avant and Quentin Michaels pod where they were breaking down the game, and they were like losing their mind over the same thing. They were like, how can an NFL defense have guys that far off the line of scrimmage? And you just have to wonder, why the Eagles keep running this system with these you and I talk about this, the soft zones.
Yeah, it's especially true with the 49ers because they're not going to throw the ball deep all that much. They rely on guys yards after the catch, right? They throw the ball over the middle on slants and stuff, and then they let Deebo Samuel do his thing, and that's exactly what happens. So why does everyone else see this and Sean Desai doesn't? That's just baffling to me.
Well, it's funny you said that because I've asked this question numerous times, Dave. I mean, and you've covered the NFL for a long time. You've been around a lot of different coaches, and you have. I feel like people who are in the game don't understand when you, the regular person, sits at home and we all see the same thing, but the coach doesn't realize it. And that doesn't help when a guy like Rex Ryan gets on TV and says, "I'm sitting on my couch. I don't understand what the Eagles defense is doing." And it's like, it's almost like you want to have a intervention with some of these football coaches. Cause it's like, you guys got to understand that the reason why the fans are losing their mind is because everybody sees something and you don't.
For that matter, what was the offensive strategy? Why did DeAndre Swift why was there 6 carries by running backs? I just don't. The whole thing was just a big mystery to me. I was completely baffled by what they did.
I mean, that's why I said, I don't know if it's just a bad day at the office or it's like a serious conundrum because they are 10-2. It's not like they played bad the entire year.
Right. I mean, well, I think they were kind of due for this almost. It looks like they were kind of hanging on by the skin of their teeth for the last couple of weeks. So maybe the boom was about to drop. Not to that point, not to get blown out though. I mean, that was just a total surprise. It's going to be really interesting to see if they can rebound this week against Dallas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You mentioned Dallas, Dave. So let me ask you about that. Eagles, Dallas. Obviously, it's in Dallas. Dallas will be a much better team at home than on the road. Any concerns about that?
Eagles are losing. Yeah.
You're talking. You're already putting an L in the column.
I said before the season started that I think they split their games, and I thought the home team would win, and I'm not going to waver from that. I just Dallas has some flaws, but the home team, they're undefeated at home. They're brimming with confidence right now, and I understand they played the Eagles really tough the first go around. I think they probably looked at the 49ers film a little bit closer, and they I don't know if they realized some weaknesses that can be exploited. It's going to be up to Nick Sirianni and Sean Desai and everyone else to figure out a way to counteract that. So it's going to be real interesting, but I think the Cowboys win.
Now, do the Cowboys win because of their offense or their defense?
Probably defense. Micah Parsons is just a complete different animal. I mean, he just takes over games, and their pass rush is really strong. I think their secondary is relatively solid. I think they're going to force the Eagles into some mistakes. They have that big play capability, certainly on offense. It's just a matter of which Dak Prescott shows up, but it seems like he's playing with more confidence than he has in the past. CeeDee Lamb, there isn't anybody in that secondary can cover him. So that was shown in the first game. So I'm looking for. I think maybe it'll be a little bit of a low-scoring game, but I think the Dallas defense is the difference.
It's interesting because the reason I asked that is because we just saw the Dallas defense get shredded by Geno Smith and the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football.
True.
So it's like, is there a legitimate flaw maybe that the Eagles could take advantage of in the Dallas defense?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, they are capable. You're right. They are capable of putting up some points on them. I just don't. I think I hate to say it's kind of odd to say that it was maybe they were looking past the Seahawks a little bit, maybe, and maybe normally I would have attributed that the Eagles' performance to that as well, like they were due for a letdown, but Dallas week coming up, but when the 49ers are coming to town, that doesn't make much sense. But in Dallas's case, I think maybe they were just looking, maybe they took the Seahawks a little lightly. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. There probably are some potential weaknesses there, maybe that Jalen Hurts and company can. But if they don't run the ball, it's not going to matter.
It's interesting you mentioned the run the ball, Dave, because Dan Orlovsky has said on NFL Live and different shows this week that he thinks the Eagles' offensive line is not playing as well as it did last year, and that's part of the reason why their run game has not been able to get as many, because apparently the Eagles have rushed for 200 less yards this year than the sit through 12 games last year.
That might be due to Jalen Hurts, though, right? I mean, he probably had a lot more rushing yards last year. I'm just not having the stats in front of me, but he doesn't seem to be running quite as much, or not nearly as much as he did.
No,
last year.
he has. Well, he has rushed. I think the number was 44 times less than last year. So
at this point, or you mean in total?
In total.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So I mean, I don't think he's going to run the ball 44 more times between now and the end of the season.
No, and but again, I mean, why is DeAndre Swift getting so few carries? I don't understand it. He was second in the league in rushing coming into the weekend, wasn't he? Why?
And he's 9th in the NFL in carries this year. He's 10th in the league in touches.
Why all of a sudden are you like? They seem to be in love with Gainwell. I mean, I know he makes some big plays here and there, but DeAndre Swift is your best running back. Feed him the ball and get out of the way.
Dude, I'm out on Gainwell. I'm over Gainwell. I don't
too.
understand.
I was never in with him, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't understand the infatuation with him. You know what it is, Dave? I feel the way about Gainwell that you feel about like Nick Sirianni. Like I just
that's harsh.
I'm so exact. I don't want to see him on the field. I don't want to see his number. I don't want to see his jersey. Like when I went to the Eagles game a couple weeks ago, there was literally a dude walking around the stadium with a Gainwell jersey on. I wanted to rip it off of him. I want to be like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, who buys a Gainwell jersey?
It was probably his cousin or something, probably.
I don't care. Just put that thing away. Wear a jacket. Hide it.
Yeah. And I'm just curious, is Julio Jones just done? He just can't play, or what? What's Chris Watkins doing out there?
It's an excellent question because, I think there's two problems. One is I don't think they're using Julio Jones properly. They keep playing him in the slot, and I don't think he's a very good guy in the slot. He's not Anquan Bolden. Like remember when Bolden went to the Baltimore Ravens and he became this like legendary slot receiver, and we're all looking around like, when did that happen? Right? Or like the year that Larry Fitzgerald had like 90 or 100 catches in the slot. Like, I don't think Julio is that guy. I don't think he's a guy who could play in the slot. I think that's the first problem. And the second problem is if you're not using him right and you're playing him too much in the slot, then when you do play him on the outside, he probably is lost.
Yeah. I mean, they're not using him at all anymore. I mean, I get he seems like to be like the non-factor now, though not to the Rashad Penny.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the real reason why you need to sign Zach Ertz, because Julio Jones has been a non-factor.
Yeah, that's true. Although they get Dallas Goedert back, I guess, this week, right? So maybe that'll help.
Still sign Ertz. Make him the number 2 tight end. You're telling me that a lineup that has Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the outside, Ertz and Goddard as the 2 tight ends, and then Swift in the backfield, that's not going to make people question themselves? Of course it is.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this to some friends of mine, though. I mean, I don't know Zach well, but I know him a little bit. I just don't know that it's in his makeup to take that subservient role, to be the backup. I don't know. I think that was part of the reason why he left Philly, right? Because Goddard was clearly the guy that was going to take over, and I didn't think Zach was ready to step aside. Well, yeah, maybe he is now, but I don't know. He seems like a really competitive guy, and I know.
Well, I mean, with age comes maturity, right? Like maybe in his time away, he's grown a little older, a little wiser, and the stories and reports are out there that he wants to come back to Philadelphia. So I mean,
well, they do need another tight end, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, I know Goddard's coming back, but I mean, I've never heard of a guy coming back from a fractured forearm in 4 weeks before.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me too. This kind of reminds me of like when Brent Selleck was at the end, and Ertz was taking over, and Brent kind of became like the blocker / backup guy, and he seemed to handle it pretty well. I just don't know that Zach has the same kind of personality to do it, but I guess he could.
Anything's possible. I never know. I like the idea of Ertz in that locker room. I feel like
I
you
do
could never
too.
have.
Oh, personality wise, no question. Absolutely. Yep. I agree that 100% there.
I feel like they need another dude in that locker room at this point. Like,
Mm.
like no offense to Julio Jones, but he's, since they got Julio Jones, they're not undefeated. It's not like he's out there balling out.
Yeah, true. Yep. I'm curious how like the dynamic will work in the locker room though, with a guy that comes in now that hasn't been there for the last 2 years. I mean, does he command the same respect? Does he become a leader automatically, or is it do the guys kind of look like sideways at him a little bit? I'm not sure what to expect. I don't know. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
That's a good question. I mean, I know Jason Kelsey has joked about on his podcast about the bet that he had with Zach, about how Zach was going to the last year he was on the team. That remember he bet Zach that Zach was going to be on the roster at the end of training camp, and Zach Ertz said no, and then they had to dye their hair.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember that. Yep.
So I mean, obviously he does have still some friends on the team. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, unless he wants to be a complete weirdo and go join his best friend in Los Angeles and hang out with Carson Wentz. But I mean, otherwise, if he wants to win football games, he should go to Philadelphia.
Yeah, he wouldn't have left Arizona if that was the case.
He's Dave Weinberg at Dave Weinberg 19 at the Twitter X platform. 973ESPN.com for the extra point columns, and of course the 2-minute drill after every Eagles game on the website. Dave, always appreciate you jumping on the show. We'll talk next week.
Oh, anytime, Josh. I appreciate it as always. I'll talk to you next week, definitely.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle. All right, we got let's see here. Mike in Marmora, Jeff in Ocean City, George in Summers Point. All your texts and more coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free, thanks to First Bank of Seattle.
It's Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Embiid blocked it. What a rejection. And now he leads the break. Sixers with numbers. No, with a 3-point shot. It's good.
The Sixers are in D.C. to face the Wizards. Tonight, coverage begins at 7 p.m. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
Feel your teeth. How grimy are they? It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is plaque bacteria that can cause cavities. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. Smile, Crest has you covered.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life, especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
Do you love a good cigar almost as much as your family? Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you can find that perfect cigar at Smoker's Haven. With 5 New Jersey locations, Smoker's Haven has the finest selection of cigars in the area, like Ashton, My Father's, Romeo and Julieta, Monte Cristo, and more. All from the finest tobacco leaves and hand-rolled by the world's finest cigar makers. All locations are fully open. Stop in and let them help you find the perfect cigar to pair with your life. See all they have and their locations at smokershavennj.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
P-Factor Portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
Just clean lines paint. CleanLinesPaint.com.
Are you looking to transform your home or business? Look no further than Clean Lines Painting and Power Washing for attention to detail, low stress, and no mess for residential and commercial projects. For a quality job, remember the name, CleanLinesPaint.com. Changing the way New Jersey paints.
CleanLinesPaint.com.
Spoiled supermarket meat sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
Hurry and check off your list for the holidays with 50% off everything for a limited time only at your nearest Banana Republic factory store. Wrap up Luxe gifting favorites, plus must-haves for yourself now through December 11th.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Henry Britt from Springfield, Mitsubishi, Atlantic City, and Pleasantville. Picture this: third row seating in the all-new Mitsubishi Outlander. Plenty of room for the entire family. We're serving up 0% financing for 36 months. That's more appealing than Grandma's holiday fruitcake recipe. And hold on to your sleigh, no payments for 90 days to get you through the holidays. SpringfieldMitsubishiAC.com. Experience the sure way to buy a car.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Don't forget Game Night being brought to you by my friends over at Jenkins & Sons Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. It is supposed to get frigid cold tonight. And are you sure your home is ready for the rigors of a cold winter season that is forecasted? Well, if you're worried that your rooms are not staying warm enough, then you need to call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today about a new system from American Standard Heating and an air conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system so you can take advantage of financing of up to $15,000 from South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric. Find out how you can save on your utility bills with Jenkins & Sons. 609-641-6440 and visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. All right. You guys text here, 609-403-0973. Get you guys in the order that you came in at. George Summers Point chimes in, hey, Josh, you're absolutely right about all these talking heads nationally yakking about the demise of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles after one game. If you remember, these were the same so-called experts that were anointing the Eagles as champions a few weeks ago after the Kansas City game. I think most of the experts flip their opinions throughout the course of a week so often they don't realize what they said the previous week. I'm not here happy either. The Eagles got destroyed on Sunday, but I do not take it as a complete demise of the team or franchise. That's from George in Summers Point. George, I had to laugh because you mentioned the people. They don't always remember what they might say from week to week. Look, one of the problems that happens with in their defense to an extent, there is when some of these people are going on so many shows, for some of them, it's hard to keep up with who said what where. So I will forgive some of them. Like yesterday, I saw Jeff. So Jeff Saturday was on Get Up, Greedy's radio show, First Take, PTI, and Sports Center yesterday. So, I mean, by the end of the day, if the dude can't remember what he said in the morning, I can't blame him. Like the dude's on every show being asked probably the 5 same questions. He's trying to answer in a way that doesn't sound exactly the same. So, but you're right. There is something to be said with these so-called experts. They keep moving the goalposts on some of these conversations. Mike and Marmora chimes in on the text board, says, Josh, do you know what percentage the Eagles blitzed against the 49ers? I can't find it, and I have people telling me they really. Well, so the Eagles, I have to look up the exact number. It was either 32 or 30% of the snaps they blitzed, and they blitzed on more than half of the plays in the second half. So if they blitzed more in the game on Sunday to the 49ers than any other game this season. So I think the problem is that, Mike and Marmora, people who are not diehard understanding of the game of football, they think we got no sacks. So the blitz wasn't there. We got to blitz more. And blitzing doesn't result in sacks or quarterback pressures. Blitzing is just a method of getting to the quarterback. The problem was that when the Eagles blitzed on Sunday, they got shredded by Brock Purdy, especially in the second half of that game. So I want to read your text properly. What did you say? I have people telling me. The people who are telling you, they probably don't know football as well they think they do. Mike and Marmora. You can't just go off of the it looked like they didn't get to the quarterback. Well, you know why they blitzed so much and why it didn't work? Because Brock Purdy kept seeing George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and all these guys wide open in the flat because they sent so many guys in the blitz. No one was back there to stop them. Mike and Marmora, that's what you tell these people. Jeff from Summers Point chimes in at 609-403-0970. He says, Josh, you are completely right. Bring Ertz back. I can't believe we haven't got him yet. He could be productive with a guy in the middle of the field. Also, he's great in the locker room as well, Jeff from Summers Point. Yeah, I think the problem is that I don't know it's taking so long. I don't know if Ertz is fielding other opportunities and calls, if he's just trying to take an extra week or two off to heal up his body. I don't know what's taking so long. I feel like that in a normal world, we would have heard by now Zach Ertz is signing or not, and he hasn't signed. So we'll see. The Eagles brought in Shaq Leonard this week. Maybe Ertz comes back next week. I don't know what the plan is. Ertz did play the entire season before now in Arizona, so maybe they bring him in for the Seattle game because he's seen Seattle already this season. Maybe that's the working theory. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Sixers are back tonight versus the Wizards. Next.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's week 14, and the Eagles head to Dallas against their NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, on Sunday Night Football.
Prescott back again. It is caught, but he's tackled.
Tackle the CD Lamb, and the game is over. The Eagles win.
Eagles Radio Network coverage begins at 7 p.m. Maryland Mike call all the action starting at 8:20. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by
GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you. Boardwalk Honda. Shop our lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. The Fan Zone at Sun Valley Pools. Unique fan gear and gifts for every fan of every team. 8th Regional Hospital, your healthcare partner for a healthier life. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Choose better banking. And South Jersey Gas.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.